It wasn't my signature on the contract, but it might as well have been my life. I want you to visualize the structure of your life right now. I want you to look at the pillars holding up your self-worth. The title on the door, the equity in the portfolio, the reputation in the market, the 7-figure deal you're currently negotiating. It looks solid, doesn't it? It looks like concrete. Now, imagine I snap my fingers and it turns to ash overnight. Not a decline, not a bad quarter, a complete, total, systemic annihilation. For months, my entire professional identity was tied to a 7-figure deal someone else controlled. I mistook the machine's power for my own. And when that deal turned to ash, my world went with it. If you're a high-achieving man, a founder, an executive, a builder, a professional death isn't a possibility. It's a probability. It's a crisis you're almost certain to face. But here's the intel nobody gives you when you're standing in the smoking crater of your career. You're not mourning the money. You can make more money. You know how to play the game. The agony of a career collapse isn't financial. It's an identity death. We're conditioned to build our entire sense of self on the fragile foundation of our professional success. Our job title is our shield. Our income is our proof of worth. When that's stripped away, the man you thought you were dies with it. You aren't just unemployed. You're an identity in exile. Today, we're going to talk about the unspeakable. We're going to talk about what happens when the king is exiled. We're going to talk about the shame that feels like a physical weight on your chest. And we're going to execute the protocol for rebuilding a life that is fireproof. This is the Phoenix Protocol. This is episode 13. I know this fire. I know it intimately. It was a core front of my own polycrisis. Let me paint the picture for you. I was part of a machine. My world was built on a massive 7-figure contract I didn't control. I was the expert. I was the high performer. I was a face of the operation. But I made the fatal error that so many executives make. I wasn't the owner. I was leveraging my self-worth against an asset that belonged to someone else. The phone call wasn't a negotiation. It was an execution. Due to a failure at the top, decisions made in rooms I wasn't invited to by a person who viewed me as a line item rather than a partner, the deal was gone. Overnight. Just like that. And because catastrophic system failures rarely happen in isolation, the blast radius expanded. In that same window, my dream project, a 20,000 square foot gym facility I was set to co-build, was also annihilated. This wasn't market forces. This was the betrayal of 2 of my partners. So in the span of 2 months, my entire professional identity was devastated. Gone. I want you to understand the physiological state of a man in this position. You don't sleep. You stare at the ceiling at 3 a.m. Your cortisol is redlining, but your energy is 0. And you ask the single most terrifying question a man can ask. If I'm not that, then what the hell am I? This is the identity derivative. We're taught to derive our value from our output. I am a CEO. I am a founder. I am a closer. But when the output stops, does the value stop? If you're a machine, yes. If a machine stops producing, it's scrap metal. But you're not a machine. You're the operator. The problem is you've forgotten that. You've merged with the machine. You've outsourced your who to your what. And the bills just come due. This isn't a weakness. I want to be very clear about this. This is the predictable, catastrophic outcome of building your entire identity on a platform you do not own. You're currently experiencing a system collapse. Your operating system was designed for a specific environment of success. It has no code for this environment of failure. So you've crashed. This is like a blue screen of death. You can't think your way out of this. You can't network your way out of this. You can't just update your resume and fix the hole in your soul. You're in the wreckage, and you must execute a specific medical grade protocol to build your way out. Before we get to the cure, we must understand the disease. Why does a career failure feel like a physical death? It comes down to status fragility. In our evolutionary history, status was survival. If you were the high status male in the tribe, you ate first. You mated. You survived. If you were exiled, if you lost your status, you died, alone in the cold. So when you lose your job, your reptilian brain doesn't see unemployment. It sees exile. It sees death. The shame you feel is a physical weight. You're terrified of running into someone at the grocery store. You're terrified of the question, so what are you up to now? That question lands like a knife because you have no answer. Because who you are was what you did. And now that you do nothing, you are nothing. This is the I am error. I talk about this in my most recent YouTube video, the pilot versus the plane briefing, but we need to go deeper. You've built a single point of failure identity. Imagine an investment portfolio. If you put 100% of your net worth into one volatile stock, you're an idiot. But that's exactly what you did with your soul. You put 100% of your self-worth into the stock ticker of your career. When the stock crashed, you were wiped out. You have no identity liquidity. You have no other assets, no spiritual practice, no deep relationships, no internal character work to draw upon. This is why the career collapse is actually a system audit. The fire didn't burn you. The fire burned away a false, fragile identity that was always one bad meeting away from destruction. It feels like a curse. But I'm telling you, as a man who has walked through this fire, it's a divine gift. It's given you the brutal, necessary opportunity to forge a real identity. The man who rises from these ashes is more powerful and more free than the man who was terrified of the fall. Why? Because he doesn't fear the fire anymore. He was forged in it. So how do we forge him? We execute the Phoenix Protocol. This is a 4-step tactical intervention. This isn't advice. This is a checklist. You follow it or you stay in the ash. Phase 1 is the black box analysis, which is your honest assessment. When a plane crashes, the NTSB doesn't sit around crying about the passengers. They find the black box. They analyze the data. They find the mechanical failure. Step 1 is to conduct an honest assessment, not a shame spiral, an assessment. Shame is useless. Shame is I am bad. Assessment is the strategy was bad. Take a sheet of paper. You're going to answer 3 questions with unflinching honesty. Question 1. What decisions were mine to own? Did you ignore the red flags? Did you trust the wrong person? Did you get lazy? You must take radical self-accountability. If you blame the market or the bad partners, you remain a victim. Victims can't resurrect. Question 2. What factors were truly outside of my control? The macroeconomy, the partner's lie, the algorithm change. Identify them, acknowledge them, then dismiss them. You can't fix what you don't control. Question 3. What has this failure revealed about my character? Did you crumble? Did you lie? Did you hide? Or did you stand? This is the baseline data for your new build. Phase 2 is strategic silence using the Faraday cage. Right now, your brain is inflamed. You're hypersensitive to status signals. Every time you open LinkedIn, you see your peers winning. Just closed the Series B. Excited to announce my new role. Every one of those posts is a microdosing of poison to your current state. It triggers the compare and despair loop. You can't hear your own signal because the noise of the market is too loud. Step 2 is to create strategic silence. For 7 days, you go on a digital fast. No LinkedIn, no industry news, no scrolling the profiles of former colleagues. You must starve the voice of comparison so you can finally hear your own voice. This is a Faraday cage for your soul. You're blocking all incoming signals so you can reboot the internal server. But Acusio, I need to network. I need to find a job. No, you don't. You need to find you. If you network right now, you reek of desperation. You smell like burning ash. Nobody hires a panicked man. Take the 7 days. The market will be there next week. The you that returns will be lethal. Phase 3 is forging new evidence. Your confidence is gone. Let's be real. You feel like a fraud. Why? Because your confidence was a phantom tied to a title that no longer exists. You were confident because you were the CEO. Now you're a guy on the couch. You can't affirm your way back to confidence. You must build a new, real confidence. Confidence comes from evidence. You need proof that you're still a capable operator. Step 3 is to forge the first piece of new evidence. Your mission isn't to get a new job. That's too big. Your mission is to keep one unbreakable promise. One workout. Clean your office. Write 500 words. It doesn't matter what the task is. It matters that you said you would do it and you did it. It's the first deposit in your new self-trust account. When you're in the ash, you rebuild the house one brick at a time. Don't look at the blueprint. Look at the brick. Lay one brick perfectly, then another. This creates a dopamine loop. This re-engages the hunter drive in your brain. Phase 4 is the kernel rewrite by recalibrating your core identity. This is the final and most critical step. You lost your what. Now you must find your who. In the silence you created in phase 2, in the momentum you built in phase 3, you're going to answer the question that terrified you at the beginning. Without my job, who am I? Force the answer to be about character, not accomplishments. Don't say, I'm a guy who builds companies. That's function. Say, I'm a man of integrity. Say, I'm a man of faith. Say, I'm a resilient man. This is how you forge a new unbreakable foundation. If your identity is I'm resilient, then a career failure doesn't destroy you. It proves you. It gives you the stage to demonstrate your resilience. Do you see the shift? If you're a success, failure kills you. If you're a warrior, battle defines you. We're shifting your identity from the outcome to the process, from the asset to the operator, from the plane to the pilot. Once you've executed the Phoenix Protocol, you don't just bounce back. Bouncing back implies returning to where you were. We're not fucking going back. We're going forward. We're engaging post-traumatic growth. The man who comes out of this process is dangerous. He has lethal detachment. He walks into the next interview or the next investor pitch with a different energy. He doesn't need the deal to feel safe. He's already survived the worst thing that could happen, and he's still standing. This makes you anti-fragile. You become the architect of a career that cannot be killed because the career is no longer the source of your life. It's just the expression of it. You start to diversify your identity portfolio. You invest in your body. You invest in your family. You invest in your God. You build pillars that the market cannot touch. And years from now, when you look back at the 7-figure Ash, when you look back at the betrayal, you won't feel anger. You'll feel gratitude. Because that fire burned down the prison you built for yourself. It forced you to wake up. This is the work. It's not easy. It's brutal. But it's the only way out of the wreckage. If you're currently sitting in the ashes of your own career collapse, if you're staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering who you are, and if you're ready to do the real hard work of rebuilding, I'm issuing a directive. File your intel report. This is not a discovery call. This is not a therapy session. This is a tactical briefing for your new life. We will diagnose the wreckage. We will locate the structural failures in your operating system. And we will lay out the first steps of your resurrection protocol. Go to coachkuz.com, locate the system diagnostic, and click apply. Stop grieving what you did. Start forging who you are. I am Acusio Bavona. I'll see you in the work.